Hello, welcome to day 12. Day 12 is the final day of Marriage Makeover. Somehow, it always happens so fast. But I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Heather Flake. I am here on behalf of Life Coach University. It's October. Yeah, it's the last day of October, obviously. Okay. This month of October has been my Pay It Forward month. And so we ask that you pay it forward, right? Excuse me. I have a bad little cough and cold, so bear with me here. But we just ask that as you attend these PIF talks, that you pay it forward in whatever way that you see fit. Just throw some goodness out in the world as you have been here listening and making over your marriage. Today, day 12, we are talking about love. We're going to talk about loving your choice. We're going to talk about lovability, all the things. It's going to be super fun. So let's just jump right in. All right. I want to remind you when I say loving your choice, and I think like we've probably heard that before, but I'm going to throw kind of and tie a lot of little things in here. I want you to remember that you chose the person that you are with. So whether you are in a marriage or you're just in a relationship, I want you to remember that you chose to be here. You chose to be in that relationship. Okay. And you have the opportunity, the ability to just keep choosing that every single day. Now, when I work with my clients and they come to me and they talk to me about all the things that they're struggling with or all the things they're so frustrated by with their spouse or, all of those things, I say, okay, so why are you with them? And they look at me and I'm like, so why do you stay? Like, why don't you just leave? You don't have to be there. You don't have to be in this relationship. You could get out. You could get a divorce. You could just leave. You could separate for a while. You could break it off. And they're kind of like, I'm like, well, you can. It's a thing in the world. It happens all the time, right? It's totally an option. You don't have to stay. And they almost always say the same thing. Well, I love him. I want to be with him. Okay. So remember that you are choosing to be here. If you are in a relationship, it's because you've chosen to be there. And if you want to stay there, that's obviously within your choice as well. Okay. So I want to invite you to love your choice, and I want to invite you to be all in for all of it, right? This was my 7th grade year. I think maybe it was the summer going into my 8th grade year, but for whatever reason, I became super obsessed with Tae Bo, like the punching workout, And so I bought several DVDs from Billy Blanks, and it was like Billy Blanks boot camp. And I became wildly obsessed with Tae Bo. And he would say to us on our workouts, he would say, listen, y'all, you got to put it on like you put your pants on. And so I will like hear that in my mind. I still hear Billy Blank saying that, like, you got to put it on like you put your pants on. And that is true. And that stands for your relationship. You got to put it on. You got to be all in for all of it, even the bad stuff, even the things you don't like about your spouse, even those quirky little things that drive you nutty. Let's be all in. You chose them. Let's choose all of it. All right. And what I want to say is some days it's just going to be easier. And some days you are going to be a better lover than others. Some days it just feels fun and it feels easy and it feels like the connection is happening and maybe the intimacy is going well. And sometimes it just feels more available to you. And then other days it feels boring. Some days it just feels hard. It feels challenging. You're annoyed. You're frustrated. And it can feel really hard. Okay. Welcome to being a human being. Nothing's wrong with you. But on all the days, can you be committed? Can you be all in because you remember, oh yeah, I chose this person. I chose this kind of relationship. I chose this marriage. So I'm going to keep choosing it every day. You have to make that choice every day, right? Even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you're bored, you choose to be there. And I want to remind you, and I'll talk about this more in a little bit, but the family that you married into, they're yours too. And you can just choose to love them, and you can choose to be a part of them. And I can already hear some of you saying, yeah, but you have no idea the things his sister-in-law has said to me. And you have no idea how his mom looks at me or what it's like going to family dinner. They don't like me. They're not nice to me, or, whatever. We don't understand each other. We're so different. I'm just not buying it. You can still choose to love them, even if they don't love you, even if they don't treat you in the way that you think you want to be treated. Now, of course, I'm all about boundaries and making sure that you are safe and being treated in a respectable way, obviously. But so maybe that requires you to set some boundaries so that you remain safe and you can take care of yourself. But ultimately, you deciding to love your spouse and you deciding to love your in-laws, regardless of the past or regardless of water under the bridge, is always going to feel best for you, because love feels good. When you choose to feel love for another person, that benefits you. Sometimes the other person might feel it, sometimes they may not. But when I choose to love someone, it feels so good for me because I'm choosing love. Okay. So again, I want to invite you to just love your spouse, the entire version. I want you to love the good, the bad, the ugly, right? It's not like you can just love the parts you love and then hate the parts you hate. I mean, you can do that, obviously, but I think that is a recipe for just a miserable life and a miserable marriage. What if you were just all in? And hello, let's look in the mirror. Are you perfect? No. You have some scary things about you. You have some things that aren't so pretty either, because you're a human, right? But if we can just be all in and we can love our choice, we're going to feel more peaceful, and we're going to be able to access different results. We're going to be able to show up in a way that we're going to be so proud of. All right. I learned this from Brooke Castillo when I went through the life coach school. She's the creator, owner of the life coach school. And she taught us a phrase. She taught us a term called lovability. Okay. And she taught us that every single human being is 100% lovable. And you can think of it this way. Think of like a brand new baby. Have you ever held a brand new newborn baby? And you can't help but just feel awe and wonder and love for that little creation. Like it's just a miracle, right? Like I remember when my first baby was born, when Lily was born, excuse me, she was 9 pounds, 7 ounces. She was a big baby. And so her nose was completely smushed and crooked, and her little face was bruised, and her head was all huge, and she was so swollen. She was not cute. She did not look cute. She did not look good. But I just remember being so full of love for her. Like I never felt love like that before. Right. And that's the whole idea, is all of us are 100% lovable. You as a person, you as your spouse as a person, doesn't need to do anything different or be different in order to be loved more. Did you hear that? You nor your spouse don't need to do anything different or be anything different in order to earn or qualify for more love. Okay. Every being, everyone is 100% lovable. So listen, what lovability means is you're 100% able to be loved. And your being loved isn't about you. It's about the person loving you, right? So for example, scroll down to my notes here. Okay. So for example, me loving my spouse, me loving my Devin is not about Devin and his actions and who he is, what he does, what he doesn't do, but it's about me, right? Because Devin's lovability is absolute. He's absolutely lovable. So me loving him isn't about him. It's about me and my ability to love him. Okay. So same for you. If you don't love your spouse or you don't love your in-laws, that's a reflection on you, not them, because they are lovable, right? So if you don't love them, that's a choice that you are making, right? It's not on them. Okay. So same with you. If someone just loves you so much and they're so obsessed with you, it's not about you. It's about that person's ability to love you, right? So your lovability has to do with the other person's capacity to love you, not the other way around. Okay? Does that make sense? I know that was kind of a confusing concept for me, but I think it's helpful to remember that we are 100% lovable. Our spouse is 100% lovable, and us loving them isn't about them. It's about us and our ability to love, how good we love, but everyone is lovable. Okay. So in a minute, I'm going to talk to you about how to choose love. And obviously, I think that love is the best emotion to choose to feel, because again, it's not like you can force anyone to feel it. But when I feel love for my spouse, I'm way more kind, I'm more helpful, I'm a better listener, I'm more willing to connect. I just show up better in my life. There's more peace. Okay? And I just think because that's available to us, why would we not choose to fill it? And you know what? There's obviously a lot of things sometimes that we might have to work through. We might have to work through some issues that we've had. We might need to forgive. We might need to examine kind of our thoughts or our perspectives and change and say sorry. But love is always available. The other fun thing that I learned from Brooke Castillo that I thought was really fun and I wanted to share today is the idea that attraction is not involuntary. Okay. I want you to think about this at some point. Hopefully you still are, but if you aren't, it's okay. You can get back to it. At some point, you were super attracted to your spouse, right? Or to the person that you are with. And you were attracted to them because of sentences in your brain. Okay, just think about that. Like if you're watching a movie or you just see some person out in the wild and you're just like, dang, they are beautiful. Like they are so good looking. That's such a beautiful person. And maybe I'm attracted to them because I'm thinking that like, wow, look at his muscles, or his hair is magnificent. His face is gorgeous, right? Those thoughts create attraction. Okay. So you can see this beautiful person. Maybe you learn, oh, but guess what? That person is really dishonest. They don't like babies and they hate pizza. You'd be like, what? Like it would change how you felt attracted to them, right? Or maybe you think that someone is just so gorgeous and you're so attracted to them, and then you learn that they are a total womanizer or whatever. It would change how you feel about them, right? So attraction is something that we feel, but it's created by our thoughts. Okay. So Brooke Castillo invites you to practice attraction in your relationships by practicing attraction thoughts, which I just love that idea. And I think especially in the beginning of a relationship, attraction is like there's a lot of chemistry and you're very attracted and you have a lot of desire for that other person. And sorry, did you see me just jump? So sorry, my air conditioning kicked on and it opened my door up and it made me jump a mile. Fine. It's totally fine. It's Halloween. So okay, it's fine. Anyways, at the beginning of a relationship, often you're very attracted to that person, but it's because of those thoughts. And when that relationship is new and fresh and you're feeling that spark and it's just like, so amazing, the attraction is really thick and it's really strong, but it is because of your thoughts. So I love this idea of practicing attraction in your relationship by practicing attraction thoughts. So I want to encourage you to make a list. I want you to make a list of things that are highly attractive to you about your spouse. Now, I can already hear some of you like thinking, I got nothing. And that's not true. Okay. There's at least one thing that is highly attractive to you about your spouse, or you wouldn't be there anymore. You might have to dig deep. You might have to just remember, but your brain will be like, I don't know. They're just the worst. We never take I don't know as an answer. When you believe I don't know, it blocks you from your own wisdom. It stops you from thinking, and your brain doesn't have to go to work for a solution. So instead, just give yourself some space in a container to think about, okay, what are the things that are highly attractive about my spouse? His work ethic, his smile, her eyebrows, the way she cares about other people, the time he spends with our children, whatever it is, Make a list and let yourself see this. Oh, look at this list I came up with about the highly attractive things of my spouse. And then you guys practice thinking them. Decide to be attracted to your spouse. Decide to be attracted to the whole version of your spouse. Think about what it would do for your relationship if you brought back in attraction, right? Attraction in the beginning it does feel involuntary, just feels like something that's there, feels like just a part of the relationship. And maybe as you go, I'm not saying you lose attraction. I think sometimes it can change, but let's keep cultivating it. Let's practice attraction by practicing attraction thoughts. Notice on purpose the things that are highly attractive about your spouse. Decide to be attracted to all of it. Like, let's increase the attraction on purpose, because what's going to happen when you increase how attracted you are to your spouse? Everything's going to improve. The way you communicate, your intimacy, the way that you just naturally connect with each other and listen, your desire to spend time together, the way you work together, it's all going to improve and increase. All right. So I just love that idea. And I want to invite you to do that. Let's increase the attraction you feel for your spouse by what you choose to think on purpose. And they don't need to change. They don't need to lose weight. They don't need to take out the trash more. They don't need to do anything differently, because you on purpose are just deciding, dude, I'm going to increase the attraction. Here are the highly attractive things about my spouse. I'm going to practice thinking and believing them. Attraction will go up. And that's going to be so fun. Excuse me. So sorry, you guys. Okay. So lastly, I want to kind of just give you a couple little steps on how you can choose love. And for a few people, I want you to decide to choose love and to choose attraction for yourself. Okay? Choose to love you. Choose to feel love for your spouse. Choose to feel love for his family, her family. And right now, I want to tell you to stop saying that phrase. It's not his family. It's not her family. It's your family. Okay? When you came into this marriage, you inherited some more family. You inherited more people to love you and more people for you to love. And that's an amazing thing. And it doesn't matter how different you are or what they've said in the past or how they've made you feel. Now is the time for you to choose them, to choose to love them, and to stop. I just feel like every time we say, oh, his family, it puts this barrier up where it makes it weird. And instead it's like, oh yeah, that's my family. This is my family. It's our family. Okay. And recognize, without his family, without her family, you wouldn't have your spouse. You wouldn't have the person that you love. So we love that family. We're so grateful for them. We need them. Okay. But how can we choose love? The first thing, you're going to be so surprised by this. Examine your thoughts. If it's feeling difficult for you to love your spouse or to love your spouse's family, it's because there's just some thoughts up there that we need to get out. So release them. Let your thoughts come out. Just examine them. Be aware of them. And just recognize what those thoughts are creating. Okay. When you get your thoughts out on paper or out in front of you, it's so easy to then understand, well, no wonder I'm feeling grumpy, or no wonder I'm feeling so annoyed, or I'm feeling left out, or I'm feeling lonely. Look at the things that I'm thinking. So examine those thoughts and then just remind yourself that, hey, everyone is 100% lovable. Everybody is worthy of love. And love is going to feel best for me. If I choose to love my spouse more, and if I choose more attraction to him and to his family, our family, that's going to feel so amazing for me. And just think of it. If you chose love, think of how you would show up and think of what you would be able to create. All of a sudden, you would have more conversations and you would feel more connected. And maybe you would think of more creative ways to get together. You'd think of ideas of how to spend time together, how to problem solve. Your relationship would improve so much. So I'm just going to give you that. How do you choose love? First, you got to examine your thoughts, recognize what they are, and then you get to make a choice. Love is always on the table. It's always something that is available to you. And if you're not choosing it, don't be judgmental about it. Just be curious. Why am I passing up love? Why am I saying no to love? Because essentially you are. There's so much more available to you. Sometimes we say no to love because we think we have to protect ourselves, or we think we're justified. But if love is available, why wouldn't we claim it? It's available and you just get to choose it. So to wrap up, that's what I want to leave you with on this day 12. You made a choice and you get to choose to love that person every single day, even with all their flaws, even with all the things. Be all in, put it on like you put your pants on. Remember that attraction is not involuntary, that you can choose to be attracted. You can choose to turn up how attracted you are to your spouse by what you choose to think about them. You're 100% lovable. So is your spouse. Okay? And love really is always available to you. And it's always available to love the family that you have acquired as you've married your person. You chose them. And if it's a relationship you want to be in, then you just get to choose to keep loving them. You get to keep choosing to choose them every day. I think that's an amazing gift to give yourself and to your spouse. All right, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a part of Marriage Makeover. It has been such an honor and pleasure for me to be here. If you're looking for more help, or if you have questions, or you just want more of this, I'm always coming up with new things and new classes and all kinds of good stuff. So you can head over to heatherflakecoaching.com. You can go to Instagram and find me at Heather Flake Coaching. Send me an email, heather@heatherflakecoaching.com. Lots of fun ways to connect with me. But thank you so much for being here. And we will see you next time. Take care.